Hey, welcome everybody for joining us to this very important topic of capturing more leads. This topic for me started about 14 years ago when I got into internet marketing. I was really trying to squeeze everything I could out of the internet and get as many leads as possible. And I was absolutely shocked when I learned about the amount of web visitors that I got to my website, but they weren't opting into anything. They weren't making phone calls. And I started looking at the keyword research, and I saw phrases typed in like basement waterproofing or waterproofing contractors or my basement leaks or foundation repair contractor, all those kind of really important keywords. They'd go to my website, but then they don't call. And I was like, what are they doing? Like, why is that happening? And as an owner, when you start looking at this stuff, it can be really frustrating. So it's absolutely critical that your website has everything that it possibly can to convince someone to opt in, to pick up their phone and call you, to chat with you, to fill out a web form, to schedule online, in all the many different ways there are to capture leads. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, specifically, I'm going to give you 14 critical elements, and it's a good time to kind of go through, all right, does my website have that? Does my website have that? And what can I add? I want to talk about your customer avatar. And I think there's pause when I say something like this because people think, well, it's a homeowner. It's a homeowner with a leaky basement. Like, that's what I want. But different companies appeal to different kind of customers, and it's really good to think through these things so you can really target and communicate effectively, not only with words, but with images. So that and a whole bunch more. And because it's an important topic, if you just give this the time, I know we like to multitask during these kind of trainings, but if you give this the time and if you could just kind of run through the checklist and does my website have this stuff, and then end up with a list of items that you can maybe add to your website, or maybe you need a whole new website. I don't know. I can't speak for you. Or maybe you're going to say, we're crushing it. Like, we got everything. And that's good too. People that have a lot of stuff, they're the kind of people that are always looking to improve. So it's a really good topic. I really hope you can tune in. Quick background on me. I did own a waterproofing company for 15 years. So I'm very familiar with the industry. I've been in the space for probably, I think, 28 years. I wrote a book on basement waterproofing and internet marketing. I have a podcast. I'm the president of the Basement Health Association. I own an award-winning Google agency. So that's a little bit about me, but our clientele is all basement waterproofing and foundation repair customers, contractors all throughout the United States. That's what we specialize in. All right. So the problem at hand is, marketing is a fortune. There's that old saying is my marketing is working, or half of my marketing is working. The problem is I just don't know which half, right? It's a huge investment, typically 10% of your budget. Some people get away with, 5 or 6%. Some people will easily spend 15% of their revenue towards marketing. It's going to vary for everybody, but either way, that's a lot of money, and you want to make sure that you're getting the maximum return on investment. And it all starts with the website. So what happens when there's not enough leads? We know all sorts of problems. Owners get stressed out. When you have a low backlog, you tend to not sleep as well. Low return on investment on your money. The bottom line is, no leads. Your sales reps are frustrated. They can run more leads. They can't sell anything. There's no backlog. There's no peace of mind. It's frustrating. Not enough leads. You can't grow your business. That's the problem. So you really need to do what you can control. You can't control the weather, obviously, but you can control a website. You can have a website that has everything set up to convert a web visitor to a web lead. And that's what we're talking about. We want to consistently convert visitors to leads. More leads, more sales, backlog, your business grows, peace of mind, you feel good about yourself, you're earning the money that you want to, you're able to give raises to your employees, so on. You create momentum, you can create consistent growth. This is one of the key elements of your website. It's like, it is the storefront. You want those phones ringing, sales reps running, selling, backlog growing. So your website is the hub, it's the storefront, it kind of connects everything, right? So we're just going to kind of go through these elements. Now, before we do that though, this could be really eye-opening. This is hard math. There's only one number that's different. It's the second item. Let's say a website has 1,500 visitors per month, and that's probably, it's average. You know, some companies are bigger, some are smaller, and so on. Different areas as well, different coverage areas. But we're going to go with 1,500 visitors. In scenario one, that website can convert 5% of its visitors into a lead. What that does is it gives you 75 leads. Now I'm assuming that all leads are going to be sits or demos. And we know that's not the case, because sometimes leads reset or they kick or something happens. They go with another company before you get out there. But let's say all those leads convert into demos and you're able to close 25% of them. What that gives you, based on an average job size of $10,000, it gives you 19 jobs and $190,000 of sales for 1 month. Now, that's with, yes, it assumes a $10,000 average job, which I think is very reasonable. Just did a sales workshop, and the majority of the people in the room said about $10,000. 25% close, that could be high for some, it could be low for some. Let's jump to scenario two. I'm keeping the web visitors the same, 1,500. On this scenario, the only number I'm changing really is the conversion. So we're going to convert 9% of those web visitors, and it's really going to change everything. What happens is you then get 135 demos, I'm going to call them. And then if we're still closing 25%, we now have 34 jobs. Average sale, $10,000. We're leaving that month with $340,000 to contribute to the backlog. Night and day difference. The big difference is scenario one, 5% conversion, scenario two, 9% conversion. Is it worth it to have as many conversion factors on your website? Yeah, absolutely. You know what I like about these? It's you put it in place and you're kind of done with it for a while. Like websites, you're always kind of tweaking and so on, but if you have these 14 things in place, you can take advantage of that month after month, even year after year, until you get a new website. So do you want an optimized website? Absolutely. Really, really critical, really important. All right, I'm changing this. Let's say that says 14 and not 13, because I'm going to give it 14. You get a bonus today. All right. Really important to speak to your target audience. So when someone gets on a website, they want to know immediately, is this, if it's in waterproofing, is this a basic waterproofing company? Is it in my area? They're looking for credentials and so on. Is this a legit company? And I'm going to hit on several of these. I tend to like images. I think people are drawn to images. I think that our brain first goes to like an image of a person, then an image of something, and then words. We tend to not be drawn to words because it takes energy, but we could process way faster if we see a picture of someone and then image of thing. So do your words and do your images speak to your avatar? We're going to talk about an avatar in a little bit. What are their fears and frustrations? I was, when I was getting into internet marketing, I hired a very expensive author. His fee, like, 2 decades ago, was $725 an hour. And he had me do something. He had me do this exercise. He said, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to put your hands on the keyboard, and I want you to feel and think what your typical customer is experiencing before they actually make the phone call. So first of all, what happened to them? Like, what motivated to them to actually make that call? And it's like, well, okay, maybe this issue's been going on for a while, but there's probably some storm or there's something that motivated them. And it is fear, it's frustration. It's sometimes, my husband said he would fix it. He tried 2 or 3 times. It's not working. Sometimes some things got ruined. Sometimes there's plans to Remodel, put a bedroom down there, put an office down there, put exercise equipment down there, whatever it is, sell the house on occasion. So what are the person's fears and frustrations? And is that something that when they land on your website that they feel like, okay, this company can deal with what I'm experiencing? And think about the emotion when someone finally builds up the courage to deal with another company and type in basement waterproofing contractor or something like that, and then they start shopping. And then who are they going to call? They're doing their online research, what are the reviews, who's legit, and so on. But does your website communicate? No, does it shout? We're here, we're going to take care of you. Our website's easy to navigate. We have all the credentials. Call us. We'll take care of you. That's what it needs to communicate. And that answers, number 3, why should they choose you? Hopefully you're not just thinking, well, it says basement waterproofing and we're showing a basement, they should know we do basement waterproofing. The competition is so high, the bar is so high, that you really got to stand out. You've got to be convincing, and probably more so than what typical owners are comfortable communicating with. And I will say, number 4, try to avoid stock photos. Like, really use authentic images. They don't want to see the Wizard of Oz, pull the curtain back, and they want to see pictures of your staff, pictures of jobs. They'd love to see a picture of the crew with the smiling homeowners pointing to this crew like they're just so amazing. That's what they want to see, because that's who they want to be. They want to be that happy customer. The crew finished the work and now they have a dry basement, but use real photos, and people smell those out like a mile away. No hard hats, no model kind of people on your website. Hey, people love video. So use a lot of video. Put a welcome video on there. The owners that I speak with, typically, they don't want to put their face all over their website. And they kind of don't really like the idea of a welcome video, but it goes a long way. They get to see the owner, hear the owner. They get to just get a feel for them. Like, does this owner care? Do they want my business? Do they know this industry? And an owner, typically the ones that I work with, they can communicate all that through a very short video to reassure them that you could take care of them, how long you've been in the industry and your expertise. A welcome video is a great way to just kind of turn that corner with your prospects. And then you can make a video for each service. What that means is you just do like a quick 1 to 2 minute video, and you just walk through the various, like, basement waterproofing. Here's the different methods that we do. You could talk about carbon fiber or any kind of crack repair that you do. If you do egress window, you could talk about what egress window work is like. Mold remediation, whatever you're doing, make a short video for each service explaining why. And then try to tie in there. You don't want to be bashing companies, but try to tie in there like why you're different. Don't make it so hard for people to understand why you're different. And at the same time, don't get into slamming other people. Number 6 is leverage social proof, like showcase your review. So you could take those reviews that are on Google that are already public and put them on your website. Now, people do trust reviews more on like a Google platform, a third-party source, versus on your website, because people know that we can control the reviews on their website, right? But do it anyway. So put those reviews on there, and then better yet, think about these reviews. Can you find reviews that are 5 stars that speak well of your company, and they have their profile picture next to the review? That's like raising the bar a little bit. If you could do that, that'd be awesome. If you could have the town that review is from, like, that's even better. Those little things, definitely want to showcase your reviews. I like to take your Google listing, especially when you have like anything at 4.6 or higher, to actually put your Google score in there, put the Google badge in there. There's if you have a WordPress website, there's plugins that you could do that will pull that information from your Google listing, and it'd be like a window that's always kind of showing. Number 7, don't overlook the basics. Every now and then I still come across websites like they don't have the phone number that's easy to find. I like it on the top right-hand side. I like a call to action, and I like that phone number nice and big. Sometimes it works really well on the top center of the website. But generally speaking, those are the two areas. Don't make a customer click contact, right? And then the web form, there's a certain amount of leads, like maybe 20 or 30% of the information that comes in comes through a web form. So make that easy to find. In today's crazy world, we all have a certain level of ADD, and if someone's got to like even click one or two more times, they could get distracted before they're filling out a web form, and then they just go to something else and they forget and they don't fill it out. So, stick to the basics. These are just really basic things, but they're really important. Any kind of credibility or authority symbols, find them, get them, look at your competition, see what they have, see if there's any ones that you can pick up, like the Basement Health Association, $395 a month, a year. And you get things like if you use Angie, you get a 10% kickback. Basement Health Association has certifications. Better Business Bureau, not as trusted as it was back in the day, but if you belong to the BBB and you have an A+ rating, I would definitely put that up there. The older generation loves the Better Business Bureau. Angie's List, they have the Super Service Award, try to win it. Any kind of awards that you can win, tell the customer by putting it on your website and make it visible and put it higher up. Like they shouldn't have to go to like the About Us page and then scroll down 3 scrolls and then go, oh, okay. They won the Angie's List Super Service Award in 2020. I mean, they put it right in front, right in the center. Calls to action, that like call now or open during these hours. Those kind of little things add up. I say this a lot. In internet marketing, there's not a lot of magic wands, but it's paying attention to 1,000 little details. And after a while, they add up and they have impact, and you create momentum that way. And that's what you want to have happen. So there are people that want special offers or coupons. There's people that they see that and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go with this company because there's a coupon here. You could put that on your Google listing. You could put it on your website. You could put it on both places. It's just another, small percentage, and it adds up. Number 10, mobile website. Boy, please don't overlook your mobile website. It's absolutely critical. I've seen well up to 70% of visitors coming in through mobile. And so often we're looking at a desktop because we're in the office, but you have to be looking at your mobile website. And I see a lot of mobile websites that have the number, and if you press on the number, you can call. I like to just dumb it down even more and put like click to call and put a little, I have an example for you in a few slides down, but just try to dumb it down because not everyone knows if you press the number then the number shows up and then you can call. You might be thinking, oh, give me a break. You're kidding me, right? It's like, come on, you deal with customers, you meet all sorts of people, and there's some people that they just don't know that. So, hey, number 11, I'm a fan of live chat. I think live chat is great. Again, there's people that they're sitting on the computer, they don't want to talk to someone, especially the younger generation. They'd much rather just text and do the live chat kind of a thing. So if you could do that, go for it. Take advantage of that. And don't be intimidated with live chat. I've explained this to a lot of owners, like the last thing they want, because we've all experienced it, is there's a live chat on a website, but then no one responds. And that's usually the biggest fear of owners. How it works is you plug it into a website, and when your scheduling person comes in or when you're able to answer the phone, that's when you log in. And at the end of the night is when you log out. On occasion, yeah, if there's only one person in your office and they're the person doing the phone and the live chat, a lot of times they could do both because you could respond to somebody. You could also do like an auto response initially, like, how can I help you? Thanks for visiting. What questions do you have? I would encourage you to do it. You're just going to pick up a little bit more. It's all these little things again, just thinking little terms, kind of try to break out of like old school and thinking, hey, my phone number's up there. If they want me, they'll call me. It's all these little things that add up that will give you just more percentages here and there. All right, number 112. Number 12, give clients the option to book online. So more and more people are putting a calendar on their website and you just tie it to a Google Calendar. We provide a software to our clients who want that. It works really well, and some people really like it. I always have several coaches, and one of my coaches, he said, "Oh, I had waterproofing done." I'm like, "Oh, who'd you go with?" He said, "I went with a company that I was able to book online because I didn't want to talk to anybody." It's like, "Oh, okay." There you go. You know, they got a job because they offered to schedule online. Number 13, site speed really does matter. And it's something that your agency or your company or you needs to pay attention to. If there's a load, there's a long load time. Again, I mentioned it before. We have a certain amount of ADD. We're gonna move on. We've all been on mobile websites where we're like, okay, I think it's gonna load. And then we're like, screw this. Like, forget it. Let me go back. Okay. Oh, here's the site. It loaded right away. Like that other search that you're waiting, that company no longer exists. Like it blew its chance. It had its 3 to 5 seconds and poof, it's gone. Like the person's not going to go back to that one. So make sure your website loads fast on desktop and mobile. You can go to Google Page Insights. It's a free tool. Just drop your URL in, hit enter, wait about 30 seconds, and it will give you a score of 1 to 100. I think I have some information on this, but you want mobile, you try to get your mobile over 80, 85, 90. Those are great scores. Desktop should be over 90. And engage in marketing automation. The technology is less expensive than it ever has been. It's available. It's less confusing. There's so many little things that you could do. Little ones like anytime someone calls you with a cell phone number, fills out a web form, they can get an email and a text right back saying, thanks for contacting us. Here's our information. Now, if they need to like call you back for any reason, they're like, oh, let's say that company texted me, I'm just going to go there. Or you can not do that and you can have them go back to one of your Google ads and pay, 15, 20 bucks and click a basic waterproofing ad. But it's easier just to send out the text. So that's just an example of leaning on marketing automation. All right, so having a website optimized for conversions, is it important? Absolutely. Let's look at some examples. I think I have 3 examples that I want to show you. So, and I like them for different reasons. So on this one, phone numbers in the top right. I like that. I think people expect to see that. I like that I'm looking at a family that's smiling and happy. I think it's a subconscious connection that we could just be like, oh, okay, this looks like a normal, happy family. And I think it's reassuring. Notice it's got live chat on the right. So if I don't want to call, I could say like, hey, do you folks work on Saturdays? I can only meet on Saturdays, that kind of a thing. And then also notice the web form, and also notice that there's not like 30 questions. Just give us your name, your phone number, and your email address, and we will chase you and we will find you. So for those reasons, I like this website. All right. Here is another one. Again, the phone number is on the top right. It's got a call to action. It can check the service area. People recognize the area by the area code. So you have a 586 area code. Here is a welcome video here and a web form right on the fold. The fold is the top part of a website when you land there. And again, there's not a lot of information: first name, phone number, email, issue or problem. Actually, the phone number's there twice. Call today, big, bold, free inspection. Here's the phone number. Area code. All right, so at the end of this webinar, we will send you a cheat sheet of all the website conversion factors. And you can get that. I mean, if you're not taking notes for this, you can get this and you can go through, am I including all these factors on my website? How can I get more conversions? So this question here, you can see your customer through their eyes, then you can sell what they buy. If you could do this, you're going to be very effective. I personally feel in all the, the many sales calls that I've done with people, and as I talk to owners and I try to help them understand how a prospect views their website, this is the one question that I feel like I've really had a light bulb turn on into someone's head when I ask questions like, hey, let's say you didn't know anyone in the industry and your basement leaked. Like, what would you do? All right, type in basement waterproofing. Okay. Which company would you call? And everyone's always honest with me, and they always tend to lean towards the people that have higher reviews. And I just kind of try to ask them questions like, all right, so now let's go to your website and your listing and your reviews. Like, would you call you? And they would not always call themselves. And that's when this light bulb goes on. And then they go, man, like, I've got to be aware of how people see us. Like, I'm so caught up in my own little world of all these things. Like, the customer's not there at all. Like, they're looking at these basic things, and I got to take care of the basic things. So this is where I kind of want to take you to really try to understand what a prospect or what a potential client or customer of yours, what they think and what they feel as they're experiencing issues with their basement. So what are their pains and frustrations? It could be everything that we just already talked about, like some things have been ruined. Someone said they'd fix it, or maybe they've already paid money to get it fixed and it's leaking again. Maybe they've called two companies and the contractors were late, or they waited 10 minutes for the appointment and said, sorry, we can't make it. That's all. Like, people don't like to deal with contractors. As good as you are, and as good as you keep your appointments, people still don't like to deal with contractors. What are people's goals and desires? They want a clean, healthy, dry, usable basement. They want more square footage in their house that they could use, that they could finish and have more room. Kids might want to have a play area. Someone might want to have an office, exercise room. When they sell the house, they want top dollar. They don't want to put any extra money into the house without getting that return when they sell it. Their fears and implications, their dreams and aspirations, now and in the future. Really try to think through all those things and try to get into the mind and the heart and the soul of the person that's looking to hire your company. And that's really going to help you think through, like, should our website be different and how can we communicate it and reassure them? So some demographics. Typically, when we target an age group, we start with 35 or older. That could vary, but cost of houses these days are very expensive. In some markets, you can go lower than that. We believe typically the female is making the decision making. They're typically the people that make the phone calls. Some, depending on your city, some cities are more family oriented and some are more diverse. So you kind of need to know your market. We all know this issue, like who's in charge of the household and how do you ask for spouse? Do we say spouse? Do we say partner? Do we say wife, husband? It's tricky in today's world. Annual income. It's good to know. Typically, you need to make some money to own a house, so you need some kind of an income, and you need to know your market, like what that looks like. Are these people family oriented, reliable? frustrated easily, like customer service standards are very high in today's world. So people, my general rule is if you're going to be 10 minutes late, the customer's got to get a call. Otherwise, they feel disrespected. I mean, we've all been in doctor's offices where we're waiting half an hour and you're thinking, I left work to come here. There's 2 or 3 people sitting at the desk doing nothing. They could have called me to say, hey, doctor's running late. Don't come till 2:30. I know your appointment's at 2, but just didn't want to waste your time. I mean, that's like, just in my opinion, that's just respect and it's common courtesy. It's just good customer service. And a lot of times people don't say anything, but they feel it and they talk it and they tell other people, oh yeah, I had to wait. How did that appointment go? Oh, I had to wait. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. So be aware of customer service standards. Is your ideal customer handyman? Do they like to fix everything themselves? Typically with basement waterproofing, sometimes you do come in across people, but usually not. When they understand what's all involved, when you're opening up a floor and putting in drain tile, yeah, on occasion you find that person, but typically not. Typically, people don't want to be renting jackhammers from Home Depot. All right, pains and frustrations, sick and tired of the foundation not working. If I asked you how many times is it, the wife is saying, oh, my husband said he'd fix this so long, for so many times, so many years, we tried. They don't know the best way to fix it. Let's say they get 3 estimates and there's people are like, oh, we have the box system when we put on the footer, and they say, oh, well, we have drain tile. We go next to the footer. If you put it on top of the footer, it's still going to leak. They're hearing all these different things and all these different credentials, and it's frustrating to them. It's like, well, who do I believe? You kind of try to educate the customer so they can make their own decisions, so that common sense can be the general rule. It's like, hey, I explained to you how water got into a home. What do you think? The people are busy, right? There's not a market in the United States that doesn't have difficulty getting both homeowners there sometimes. It's just because we're really busy, and a lot of times you need 2 incomes to afford the house that you're in. So these are all things you need to be aware of, and it affects your entire system and how you set up your system. Oh, the one big one is why'd you get your basement fixed? It's like, I got sick and tired of going on vacation and worried about my basement leaking. Hear that all the time. So these are things you really need to think through, not only on your website, but just in communicating with customers and being aware of what they're thinking and what they're feeling. Hey, fears and implications. Everyone's concerned about being ripped off by a bad contractor. And that's why your reviews are so important. That's why the BBB and responding to every single review that's out there on your Google business profile, on Facebook, and anywhere else a review might pop up, because that gives reassurance to the customer. It's also why you should be active on social media, because people are concerned with that. People are concerned with just getting ripped off and paying too much, right? I mean, we know this as insiders in this industry. They're concerned about something getting ruined at their house. And if you've owned your business for a while, sometimes that happens. As much as you don't want it to happen, sometimes it does. And I trust, we all make things right, but accidents do happen, unfortunately. So these are things that people care about, and you need to be able to talk to someone in a way that's going to reassure them that you're going to take care of it, and then you need to live up to your words. The goals and desires, get the problem fixed, have it behind them. They never want to deal with it again. Yeah, people want to take care of their families. They want a retirement. They want nicer cars. They want healthy kids. They want to travel. They want peace of mind, take care of family and friends. That's what it's about, right? All right, so messages at work, lifetime warranties, those are nice words. If someone's going to give a lifetime warranty, that matters. Over 40 years of experience, everyone knows that companies go out of business all the time. And when they see the number of years a company's been in business, it's a good peace of mind. In fact, my studies of conversion factors, that's one of the bigger ones. Like in business since whatever, 1982. That kind of little phrase, when you do a split test and that's the only difference, you'll see that that one converts more. Easy and affordable financing. Some people do financing, some people don't. When I owned my business, it was about 50-50. If you don't offer financing, I definitely would encourage you to do that. Financing, it's a lot easier for someone to make a decision of like $300 a month versus $10,000. It's just a smaller number, even if there's, 3 to 5 years tied to that. People want a trustworthy and experienced team. All the more reason why you want to show photos of your staff in uniform, smiling, doing a good job. Serving your area, since you mentioned earlier, those are important words. So speak to your ideal customer. So let me take this phrase: an elite local basement waterproofing company serving such and such. The word elite, I mean, what if it said a waterproofing basement company serving Minneapolis and Twin City Metro? There's a difference there. Now we see the word elite in local, and it's like, it's like elite. Okay, right away, we're like, how is that elite? But at least we're wrestling with the word elite. Now that's different again than, hey, we're a basement waterproofing company. See the picture on the homepage? That shows a basement waterproofer. Call us. That's got to be more convincing than that. Like, why are you special? Why are you great? Why should someone waste their time with you guys? Because you have the best warranties in the industry. You're experienced, you're licensed, you're insured, you're affordable, no money down, interest free, easy and affordable financing. Those are more convincing words. Again, be real and authentic. Now, notice in this picture, not everyone's like wearing the same color uniform. Actually, this company at this time was having new employees wear a different color uniform, and it gave motivation to say like, oh, I want to pass my test. I don't want to fit in. I want to be like one of the other guys. I don't want to be a newbie. So that was kind of a big push to get them to a different color uniform. But I do want to point out that it's not pristine, clean, and everything. And people are drawn to that. People want to see the real thing. Now, notice the reviews in the bottom here. I like these. There's quite a few of them, but those are just kind of credentials as well. Now, here's a video. This is a spokesperson. I believe this is Atlanta. So this spokesperson is very well known in that area, and they've done a lot of advertising for this company. And so on the homepage above the fold, here's the video. And so then there's like a credit transfer. When they see that person, they're like, oh, wow, this guy, he takes care of this company. So if you have a spokesperson that you can afford, that you think would represent your company well, that's a good idea to do that. There's a transfer of credentials over to you. I like this. Are you ready for a healthy basement? Now, a healthy basement is different than just a dry basement. To have a healthy basement, you have to have a dry basement. But this gets into air right from the beginning. Healthy basement. It's way more than just patching cracks. Again, I like this, leveraging social proof, 3 different platforms: HomeAdvisor, Angie, BBB, Google. These are nice little cues to someone to say like, okay, these people have street cred. If there was an issue, that's, again, people don't like to deal with contractors. They're concerned, especially when you talk about like ripping apart a basement floor. It's a big job. It's a big deal. So when you have this kind of street cred, and if every single one of these reviews are responded to, good or bad, and if there's a bad one, there's an effort by the owner to make it right, that's just good reassurance that the company stands behind their work and what they say is true. So again, get the fundamentals right. Phone number in the top right, web form, real pictures, explain who you are. Notice 1978. It's like, okay, this company's been around a long time. Live chat. These are all really good conversion factors. But adding live chat feature on a website will typically lead to a 20% increase in conversion rates. Now, that's from a very credible source. Personally, I think that's a little bit high, but even if it was 10%, who wouldn't want 10% more conversions on their website? I think everyone would. I highly recommend you put live chat on your website. So here is a nice finished basement. Again, phone number in the top right, free inspection, street cred, credentials, social proof. So make sure your website's mobile friendly. 6.8 people now own mobile phones. I think it's higher than that. 70 to 80% of consumers search for local businesses with their smartphone. 63% of Google's US organic search traffic originates from mobile devices. And following a poor user experience, up to 89% of people have switched to a competitor's website. Now that is tremendously high. You absolutely need a fast loading website, especially on mobile. Now, I referred to this earlier on. Notice that it says call Everide now. You just hit the button, the number will show up. It's a little bit different than just having your phone number and then being able to press that phone number. Just dumb it down, treat everyone like they're in third grade or something. I'm sorry if that sounds condescending, but just try to keep it like super simple. People don't want to think, just like make it really easy. Say, do this, do this, do this. And you're going to get more conversions. All right, click to call. I covered this, but one of the things I'll mention that video that I referred to earlier, here it is on mobile. Of course, your mobile web version is going to display a little bit differently than the desktop. Of course, it's got all this information in a little space, so you have to pay attention as to how it displays. So web speed, I mentioned that earlier. This is an example of Google Page Speed Insights. Again, it's a free tool. If you just type right now, Google Page Speed Insights, and it's going to allow you to put in a URL. So you can just like pull up your website, drop it in that space and hit enter. And these are the results that it's going to give you. It will give you a mobile version first and then a desktop. And there's a little toggle button on the top. Once it loads its results, then you can hit the button and it will show you desktop, and you can go back to mobile and so on. So again, try to shoot for at least 80 on mobile. 85 is a lot better. I like to see our sites at mobile at 85 whenever possible, and then desktop at 90. Now the tricky thing, I'm really big on web speed. The tricky thing about web speed is you can literally add a blog to a website, and if that image isn't compressed enough, it can slow the whole website down because it's not fully loading. And a lot of times images are what slows a website down. In websites, there's just so many things going on that it takes a lot of attention to detail to actually always have it load fast all the time. A lot of it is hosting related. Some of it's certainly code, something called JavaScript. And if it's not written in a clean way, it takes longer for the bots to go through the website and try to figure out where everything is. And then a lot of times it's images that are not compressed. So those are some of the bigger factors when it comes to web speed. But notice this load time before and after is like 7.2 seconds. Boy, do you know how many people are going to leave after 7.2 seconds? Like probably a lot, like certainly over half of the people, they're gone. Versus 2.3 seconds. It's way better. All right, so some key ideas that we've walked through today are use authentic team images. And I'm sure anyone who's reached this far in this training, most everyone that I talk to, owners, they're like, I don't want to put my face on there and I don't want to talk on there. And I just kind of want to be behind the scenes. You really need to be proud of your business. You've worked so hard to have this business. You need to get on there and you need to talk about your business, talk about your employees and your services and your track record and how hard you try to just do an outstanding job for every customer. People need to hear that, and you've worked hard to do that, and be proud of that, and get your face on there and tell them your story. Don't make it too long and boring. You'll keep it 1 to 2 minutes max, but you need to get on your website and tell them who you are and tell them your story and allow them, if you ever watch something like The Voice or American Idol or just about any kind of TV show like that, oh my gosh, me and my kids are like, well, joke, because it seems like any contestant on that show, they have to have some kind of amazing drama or tragedy to even get on the show, because every single person is like, oh my, whatever it is. I mean, I'm sorry making light of something like that, but it's something like a family member had cancer, someone passed away, and the voices come out and saying, like, get to know this person, connect with this person, hear their story. And then we're pulled into it, and then we're cheering them on. We're like, wow, that person, I feel so bad for them. And then we're cheering them on, and then that pulls us into the show. So make sure you tell your story. Like, how'd you get into basement waterproofing, very briefly, and why? What do you like about it? Try to say all those things in a very short video and get it on your website. Add video. Do like short videos of your customers. Your customers is great at the end of the job. If you could do that, that's awesome. But I was thinking your employees, like, go around saying, hey, what do you like about your job? What do you do here? What do you like about it? And just put that on there. And then people are drawn into hearing the stories, just like I shared. Make a video for your services. Showcase your online reviews. You could take those from Google. They're already public, and you could put them right on your website. Again, add some credibility to it. If you could put the person's face on there, if the person shared their name in the review, make sure you include that, because it gives that credibility to that review. Make sure that basics are in order. Phone number's easy to find, top right-hand side. There's a web form that's easy to find. Above the fold is good, but it doesn't have to be there. Just make sure it's accessible. No hide and seek with the web form. Pay attention to web speed. Those are just really good, important ideas. Talked about the phone number, web form, credibility. If you're an owner, like, always be looking for those third-party symbols that communicate to customers. You're legit, you're certified, you're part of this BBB or whatever it is, or Angie, Super Service Award, any kind of those things. Better Basement Health Association, you're certified with Basement Health. All those kind of things that communicate you're a good, safe, above board company. You want to buy into those, and you want to put them on your website. So, and make sure you're speaking well to your customer that you're after, your avatar. All right. Coupons, live chat. If you can get a calendar online, like, that's great. You're just going to convert more leads, because people like that. It seems more hassle-free. And the world is really training the consumer, especially in the United States, to use your phone for everything. Like, if you needed a ride somewhere and you didn't have a car, what would you do? You'd pull your phone out and you'd pull up Uber or Lyft, and you'd get a ride, and you wouldn't have to talk to anybody. You'd go click, 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 and you wait a minute, and they tell you in 5 minutes you're going to get a ride. And in 20 minutes, they'll pick you up, because they're never on time. But they're training us to use our phones. And it's no different with your company. If you could have that interaction through scheduling online, and then you can call them and you could say, oh, great, thanks so much for scheduling online. Just before we send our inspector out there, we want to make sure that we understand what we're getting into, so we can send our best inspector out there. And I had some questions for you. Do you have a couple minutes? You go through your questions, and now you're in a better position. You make sure it's a legitimate lead, and you're tightening it up however you need to. So when you optimize your website, you're going to get more conversions. And it'd be great at this stage of the training to write 3 items down that you could fix in the next 30 days. The key to success is taking action, implement right away. version 1 is better than version none. And don't worry about perfection, but try to take action. That's going to be the key to success. So write those things down. And if you need any help with this, if you want a strategy session, I would be happy to review your website. I could show you all the different ways that you could improve more leads. You could convert more web visitors into leads and show you examples of what we do for our clients. Just contact us and we're happy to help you with that. You can call 630-929-RAIN, or you could even schedule a time online on our website. Thank you for joining us. I hope you got something really helpful and good from this training. And again, if you need any help, let us know and we will send you that cheat sheet with all the conversion factors. Take care.